Jonah, tell us a little bit about the opening ceremony. You know, we caught snippets of it here and there. We saw some of it, and we listened in Spanish, and it looked pretty fascinating. It looked like there was a lot of celebration, obviously dancing and all of that. Obviously, the mood around South Africa after Mandela's great-granddaughter died this morning, how did that sort of change the mood? And tell us about the whole celebration itself.
I think it muted the celebration a little bit just because, you know, he's such an iconic figure in South Africa. He's so inspirational. I think it really just sort of encapsulates what this celebration of the World Cup is all about. But, you know, that wasn't about to let them rain on the parade. I mean, this is the biggest sporting event possibly ever to happen here, and they've been anticipating it for the last 4 years. So, I mean, the food was fantastic. The energy was fantastic. You know, the opening ceremony was all about celebrating the spirit of South Africa, really kind of embodied that with the music and the dancing.
How do you see these two teams, Mexico and South Africa, emerging from this game and going into their second game?
Well, I think that gets even more muddled now when you consider the fact that France and Uruguay also tied. So now you've got everybody on 1 point. So it's really going to become, you know, kind of anybody can get in. And I think that this is a situation where South Africa actually could advance just depending on what they do. They play Uruguay next, and in some ways they're easier than Mexico. In some ways they're harder than Mexico. We'll have to see what happens. But I thought the level of play was okay. It was a really exciting game, and I kept saying that to everybody when I walked out of there. I was so excited about just the whole result. I thought South Africa played better than I thought they would, even though Mexico controlled something like 70% of the possession. You know, South Africa hung back. They were well organized. No one person stood out. But they sat back, they absorbed all that pressure, and, you know, tried to take advantage of a counterattack, and which is what they did when they scored that really, really amazing goal. I mean, it's a goal of the tournament candidate already in the first game.
The question of the day is, what will be the result of U.S.-England tomorrow? Want to know what the fans are thinking will be the result of U.S.-England. Simon, what would you tell them?
I've already come clean with my prediction, and I'm predicting a 2-0 result for England.
I don't think the fans want to hear about that, Simon. They definitely don't want to hear.
Well, like it or not, that to me. I think fans need to be mentally prepared that they could be facing a loss more likely than not on Saturday.
They're facing a loss, sure, but come on, man, have some faith. Let's go.
Man.
Yeah, the negativity will not get you anywhere. Look, I'm going to give my prediction out there before the fans start calling in and giving their predictions. I think this is 2-1 for the United States. I think this is one that's going to be the U.S. They're going to do a little bit of what South Africa did, I think. They're going to be nervous in the beginning. You know, everyone keeps talking about how the United States has matured, they've developed, they've grown up. I think they're going to actually be nervous. They're going to drop back a little bit. They're going to face that pressure right off the bat. And then I think they're going to turn it up. They're going to get that counterattack. We're going to see Landon Donovan running up and down the flank, whether it's the left or the right. I really don't know yet. And I think he's going to skin somebody. And it's going to be like when you pop that bully in the nose, when he's been bullying you all along, and then finally you turn around and say, you know what, I'm sick of this. Pop. And you come at them just once in that first 15 minutes, and all of a sudden England's going to know that they're in for a game. Tell us a little bit about the press conference today and what you learned about the U.S. team in terms of what's going to go on tomorrow.
Well, the totally surreal thing that happened today was that Bob Bradley announced on the Dan Patrick Show earlier today that Josie Altidore would be starting against England. It goes against everything Bradley has done over the past 4 years in terms of keeping things sort of close to the vest leading up to game time, sort of being very cagey when dealing with the media. And then he told all of us today when we sort of said, hey, you know, what's going on with sort of announcing Josie well in advance of the game. He said, well, I was asked the question, and I thought, you know, I knew Josie was going to start, so I decided to announce that. So that answers a lot of questions. I mean, you know, we can be pretty certain that Clint Dempsey will be in midfield. And now it's just a question of whether or not he favors Robbie Finley or Edson Buttle to play alongside Josie.
So, Brian, give us a little bit of insight into Bob's move here and why the night or the 24 hours before arguably the biggest game of his coaching career, he sort of lets that guard down and breaks the mold. Any opinions on your end on why he would do that?
We're all stunned. I don't know if I have insight for you. We were all just sort of our mouths hit our chests, and actually when we listened to the group of 5 or 6 American journalists made the trip up to Rustenburg today, and Kelly Whiteside from USA Today was playing the show back on her computer, and we all sort of were waiting for the joke or the misinterpretation. None of us can figure it out. Conversely, at Fabio Capello's press conference, which incidentally, there was never a mention of the U.S. during his press conference. Not a single question or answer during 10 minutes addressing the media made mention of the identity of the opponent tomorrow. I thought that was very interesting.